Out of the bag of my wool falling down. Hello, my friends. How are you today? I'm doing well. Welcome back to the MandaMadeIt podcast. This is the little space on the web where I chat about my knitting, crocheting, spinning, fiber processing, occasionally dyeing, all things fiber related, crafting, making journey. I'm coming to you from Westerly, Rhode Island, where I live with my husband and my 2 children. I am currently a stay-at-home mom with a very small Etsy shop and wool washing business. You can find me on Instagram as Coastal Wool Washing. My Etsy shop is also Coastal Wool Washing. My Ravelry name is MandaMadeIt, and I am on Facebook as Amanda Elizabeth / Coastal Wool Washing. I think that's it for an intro, right? Hi, how are you? Yeah, I did all the things. I'll like, subscribe, share, comment. I love to read comments. It's very fun for me. I enjoy it. So I guess without further ado, I'm going to get into the first portion of this video, which is going to be finished objects, or FOs. I have my first one I'm very excited for, very quick knit, and this is the Alma tee that I made for my mother. My mother is much smaller than I am, so I don't want to try this on. But the yarn is an 85% cotton and 15% silk. It is labeled as a worsted weight, but it is a thick and thin. This pattern was actually designed with this yarn, which I find to be nice. This is my first time working with this yarn. I really like it. Got all kinds of good texture from that thick and thin, like surprisingly a lot more so than what I thought I would like. Like, up close you can see it's got that slubby little bits to it. But she lives in Florida. She does not spend much time up here, so she can't stand wool, so you know, she's one of those people that feels like it's very scratchy on her skin, much to her chagrin. So that is my first finished object. It was a really fun, easy knit. The pattern is bare bones. There's some things you kind of gotta just know what you're doing. I wouldn't recommend it for beginners who don't have anybody to help them decipher the pattern. Like, it's not hard, but it doesn't hold your hand. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. I might actually make one for myself sometime. And that is actually my only knitting, crochet, finished object. I do have some spinning finished objects. You know, the first one I will start off with is this one that I did from the Bumblebee Acres Flower Fairies box subscription. I only got it for the month of June because that's my birthday. It's the Fuchsia Fairy. I'm trying to look. They sent a pin and I don't know. Oh, yes, I do. I know what I did with it. No, I don't. Oh, yes, I do. So this is the inspiration for the colors. This is the fairy from the book. I love this. I think it's super fun. I needed a bit of a break from spinning my hand processed fibers from some fleeces that had given me some problems. I was very judgmental of it. I was just kind of being overly critical, so I gave that a go. And I'm very pleased with it. It's Targhee. I freaking love Targhee. If you haven't spun it yet, I would so recommend it. The bounce on it is unreal. It's soft. But not like limp. So that's, yeah, like, that's a bee's knees. Bumblebee acres, bee's knees. My next finished yarn, this was like a purely, I am so over it, I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna anyway. I had made a quick bat with some East Frisian and that I had picked. So I made a bat with the East Frisian that I had picked, and then I mixed that with some Tunis that I have. The East Frisian was difficult and it did not take well to the picker. I think had the Frisian been in a little bit better shape, it was very tippy. It was full of some burrs and stuff. Like, it just did not make for a good bat fiber. But I made this a bat with the tuna. That was the bag of my wool falling down. Tunis fiber, East Frisian. I blended it all together on the carder, and then I just spun it and let it do what it wanted to, which was be like slubby and thick and thin and just like actually strangely delightful. Not in a way that I would have thought. Anyway, I actually ended up liking this yarn, even though I swore I just didn't care. But I may keep this in my back pocket to utilize it in a weaving project, because I kind of like slubby weaving projects. So, let's see. Fuzzy. My third spinning whip is very exciting to me, because this was something I did not expect. I was just mad to start. Like, I wasn't mad, but I was. So I had taken the East Frisian that could not be picked and carded. I took some of that and I combed it, and it made lovely little fluffy nestlets. It really did comb up super nice, and I'm not mad at it for that. But I started spinning it and I wasn't enjoying the spin. It felt like, it just felt like it was an obligation. I had to do it, and I wasn't enjoying it. But then I got the idea to ply it with this gold sequin, sorry, not cover my mouth, this gold sequin thread that I've had in stash. I got it to make, to hold with crochet cotton for making star ornaments like 2 years ago, and I made one ornament and I was like, screw this, I don't like doing this. But anyway, I applied it with this, and I know it's not really picking up the sparkle and glimmer, and just like, because it is subtle, strangely enough, for a sequined, I mean, they're tiny little sequins, but for a sequined sparkle yarn, like, it's subtle, but yeah, it's not picking up. You can kind of see it there. Oh, there's a little one. Anyway, I actually really like this. So I don't know what to do with it yet, because it was, again, just kind of screwing around, but I think it's really really pretty, and I think I'll probably end up getting more of this sequin thread stuff to do more playing with, because I actually really enjoy the yarn that it made. I mean, the Frisian, combed Frisian, I did not spin it. Very rarely do I actually spin in a true worsted or a true woolen. I kind of do that, you know, worsted, letting the twist in type thing. And so it is lofty. It's lofty with beautiful sparkly things. And I'm not typically a sparkle person, but I like this. So I don't know, shop your stash and just shit together on your wheel. See what happens, right? Like, I don't know. Play around. I know that we have a tendency to think that fiber is precious, and I don't want to negate that feeling and say that there will always be more wool, because that doesn't help necessarily with how we feel about it. But like, allow yourself to play. Like, you have that freedom now. You are not making sweaters to ensure, or making clothing to ensure that your family survives a winter, where you only have a wood stove to heat, and like, you've got some options. Like, if you can play around a bit, find that joy in what you're doing, and it may come from an unexpected place. If see how it goes. So those are my finished objects for spinning. I think there's one more, actually. There is one more. Hold on. There is one more. This freaking joyous North Ronaldsay, the seaweed sheep. I spindle spun this, and I love it. It is so incredibly soft and squishy. I support spindle spun it. And so it's pretty much a woolen, and it is just like, if you can get your hands on some North Ronaldsay. I got this sample from Hearthside Fibers on SD, and so far they're kind of the only source, I think, other than one other one, but I can't remember the name, that I found this. And again, I highly, like, if you are at all interested in checking out different breeds of sheep for spinning, Hearthside Fibers offers great, I'm not sponsored, I'm just like, this is how I did my initial like foray into playing. Hearthside Fibers offers awesome sampler packs with like less than just a short of an ounce of fiber to it, and it's just it's a great way to test things out. I now know that I want more of this. That's how a sampler I got, like, that's how I knew I loved Targi, and so I just like, totally recommend this. Absolutely recommend this. I mean, oh man, like, I know that you can't feel I know that you can't feel this, but oh, I wish you could. Like, it's just so, I just want to keep playing. I want to knit with it, is what it is. At work, Christian. No, I want to knit with that one. Oh, so good. All right, so now we're on to whips. What I've got going on. So I finished Mom's cotton tee thing, right? And my brain got kind of muddled. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was feeling a little stuck. I hadn't had a lot of satisfaction. Like, creatively, I was feeling, and so I kind of, it also happened to coincide with the 100-day project, which is a hashtag on Instagram. It's going on for like 10 years. The gist of it is that you choose a choose something. Most people seem to do it with a creative bent to it. You choose something to do every day for 100 days, whether it be increase a skill or just get into the habit of doing it, whatever. Some people are practicing, I think, some people are practicing their support spindles every day for 15 minutes. Some are practicing drop spindles every day for 15 minutes. Other people are doing they're putting on their radio and dancing for 15 minutes, just like getting out that creative joy and energy in a way that that they don't feel like they've been doing in their life, right? And with that came the idea of like I'm already practicing my skills and trying to level up. Like, that's not something I have a problem incorporating into my life. But I have some whips that have just been kind of dragging me down a little bit. So I pulled them out. I said, all right, I'm going to work on some whips every day for 100 days. These long-standing whips are going to get some work. One whip, I started working on it, and I realized I hated it. I'll put a picture somewhere. It was the Calico Shawl by Dawn Barker, and it's assigned pooling. I had bought the yarn specifically. It is an assigned pooling yarn, and I love the colors. I love the yarn. I love the idea of the assigned pooling. I hated doing it. I hated doing it. Doing the color change stitches just messed up my flow. I would forget. It wasn't an easy pick up and put down, and it wasn't interesting enough to not be a pick up and put down project. So I frogged it. I got rid of it. Like, I still have the yarn, but the project itself, I'm done with. Like, yeah, I don't need to feel obligated to a project. I'm a grown-ass woman. I can make my own goddamn decisions, right? Like, I am the boss of my making, and I will bust the hell out of it. So anyway, that one got frogged. But I have been working on my granny stripe afghan. It's actually, there we go. This is the bottom. So this is being done with Hue Locos. It was their birthstones set kind of thing from 2021. I grabbed the colorways for the 4 birthdays in my immediate family, my husband, my 2 daughters, and I knew I wanted to make a special blanket with them. I started one blanket, didn't enjoy it, so I decided to just do something simple that allowed the colors to do what they were going to do and be, and just, I love it. It's fun, it's enjoyable, it is easy. You know, the hardest thing that's going to happen with this is as it grows, it's going to just be a little bit more unwieldy. So I had 40 mini skeins from these packs. And then I have a main color that I had chosen. I think it's called Oatmeal's Cascade 220, which is this gray color. So this part right here is the first 10 mini skeins of the 40. So I have just been reaching into a bucket and picking out, and you know, there's no rhyme or reason. I am not managing for a damn thing. I am just picking what comes out, and that's what it is. And I am thoroughly enjoying it. So I know that I had chained like 55 inches worth of chain because I wasn't counting. Nope. I knew roughly how big I wanted it. All right, so if I have got now, with this the way that it is, it's 11 inches. So by the time I'm done with all the mini skeins, it'll be around 44 inches, and then I'm going to do a border. So 44, it'll be like, you know, 55, 60 by 44, 45, maybe, 50. We'll see. I haven't fully fleshed that out yet. And I don't want to. Like, this is the thing, is I like having some projects that are just kind of like, woo, let's see what happens. And actually have them looking good. Like, if this was looking like crap, or if like it just didn't suit what I wanted, then I would just be thoroughly annoyed and be frogging it. But I'm happy, so I'm not frogging it. So anyway, yeah, it's the Granny Stripe Afghan. Oh, yeah, I definitely was not paying attention on this side, and it's a little wobbly, but that's what a border's for. It's gonna fix it. It will fix it. It's fine. I know that there are some of you out there who are just like cringing at that, but I can't care that much, you guys. It's for me. I just cannot care that much. My next work in progress is the Gansey for my husband. I'm still working on this swatch. This is, again, something that I picked up. Sorry, it involves lots of needles and stuff. So this is just a swatch. Ooh, it's picking up the texture real well. But I'm supposed to knit this swatch to 8 inches, so I'm probably got another 5 inches to go. But it is a ladder section. So like pretend this is the front of his sweater. So on the side will be the ladder, then a cable, then this moss stitch texture, then another cable, and then another ladder. And then the back is exactly the same. And this will be on the like chest, just under the chest. You can't, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean by under the chest. It'll be just under the chest, up. And he likes how the texture, the pattern is looking. I'm doing it out of Frangipani, I don't remember. Falmouth Navy. Yeah, Falmouth Navy. Is this? I have 2 of these cones of 500 grams. You know, the point of a Gansey is that it is sturdy and long lasting, and it is technically a 4-ply fingering weight or jumper weight or whatever, I think, and I am knitting it on size 1s and 0s for needles, so 2 millimeters and I don't know, 1.5 millimeters, I don't know, 2 millimeters and 2.25 or something like that. But anyway, yeah, I got all the stuff for it from the Net Loft in Cordova, Alaska. They run the Cordova Gansey project, which is really cool. I would check it out, their website, and if you have any interest in it, it would be a good resource for you. And oh, there's one more spinning. I guess I'm counting it as a work in progress because it's still fairly damp and wet because I just washed it this morning. I will do that. I mean, this is like really wet right here. But this is a merino and cotton blend that I did up on my drum carder. There is a plant spin to make along on the Jillian Eve Discord server, and I don't like plant fibers. I don't like the way that they feel in my hands. It makes my elbows itch, like not in a like I'm having a reaction way, but in like just oof, heebie-jeebies. So I tried, you know, combining them and seeing if that could make it easier for me to spin, and it does. I also think I've learned pretty strongly that I am just not a fan of these. Like, they're not terrible. I can spin them and find enjoyment in them, but these super soft, silky, drapey yarns and fibers are just not my thing. Like, I like more texture, more toothiness, more to grip. I like, you know, it's not bad at all. I think it's beautiful. I love the way that the colors came out on it. And I know it feels nice. It's just, I don't know, feels vanilla. Now I'm a chocolate lover with peanut butter and caramel and pretzels and nuts and all kinds of stuff in it. Like, vanilla is like the thing that you have last when you're out of all the other good stuff. So no shade to anybody who likes those. Like, that's me, my personal opinion on it, and like it's not a comment on anybody else. That's how I feel. That's how I am, you know. Vanilla ice cream will live in my freezer for months until I am desperate for a sweet treat, and I have nothing that has chocolate and all the other stuff in it. So that's what I've been working on. I have not. I have two fleeces upstairs that are waiting to be scoured. I have a Tunis and a California Red, and I will open those up soonish. And the only other thing I have left is kind of like a February recap of my stash stuff. So I got a new notebook. Because my old notebook didn't, it was paper that I was perfectly serviceable to write on. But you could, like, the paper is super thin. It's not, it was, I could read, you know, from the other side what I had written, and it showed the pen marks, and it wasn't pleasant to work on. So I got myself a pretty new notebook and gave my other notebook to my kids to write on. So it's not like I tossed it or anything. I just, you know. So I have been I've been following along with Nitty Natty's stash down from last year and her the scrap free 23 videos, and I did decide to start. So like, this is for February. I've got in, I've got out, I've got whips listed, I've got things I want to make, I've got the dates listed out, and so I've already set up my page for March. So as of right now, because we're not technically at the end of February for another 3 days, I have got 5 skeins of yarn out of my stash, which is still a really good feeling to have 5 skeins of yarn out of stash, and not including hand spun. I have not added to my stash. As I have said before, my hand spun is not counting towards going into stash. It will just be kept. The 2023 hand spun is going to be kept as separate. I am trying to work through what I have already and be a little more intentional. So with that being said, part of my plans, I have made some plans for how I want next month to go with my making, because I know that I can finish both the granny stripe blanket and probably the swatch next month if I focus on them. You know, the granny stripe blanket is perfectly, totally acceptable for, you know, doing it around my kids, doing it, you know, when I'm talking to people. It'll be a little unwieldy, but it is absolutely doable. All I need to do to get, let me rephrase this, not to finish the blanket completely, but to finish the mini skeins that I want to use in it. I can finish that next month if I do 1 stripe per day, and a stripe per day takes me 1 hour, about 20 minutes per row. So 1 stripe is, I have 2 rows of the mini skein and then a row of the oatmeal main color. 2 stripes of mini skein, a row of 2 rows of this, a row of this. So it's basically 3 rows equals a stripe. And it takes me about 20 minutes to do a row. Or an hour total, and I think that's very doable for me to do that next month. So that is a big goal. I also know that I can do 5 inches of pattern on this swatch next month. So that's kind of what I'm gonna work on. I also have 2 other small projects that I'm okay with casting on if I need to, because once this blanket gets too big, I won't be able to bring it out and about to me, like to my daughter's karate or for coffee dates with my friends, which I'm doing one tomorrow. So I have a pair of socks that I want to cast on and a colorwork hat. So those, I've got all of this planned out in the hopes that it's going to help me, even if my brain gets muddied, it's going to help me have some direction and also allow me to work more efficiently on the stuff that I'm working on. I don't like having long-standing whips. I don't like having multiple whips. I like having like 3 whips at most is probably good for me. I like a complicated one, an easy one, and then like one just random thing. Usually a crochet project. So that's kind of, and I've tried different things over the past year or two where I had like 7 or 8 whips, cast on all these things when I got cast onitis. And then it just leads to me feeling overwhelmed and uncomfortable, and I don't like that. I want my stuff to feel good. Oh, I just realized I never said, this is the Alpenglow by Andrea Mowry, in a variety of knit crate yarns. I'll link the project page below. Did I say Alpenglow? Yeah, I think I did. And so yeah, in terms of what I want to do for my spinning coming up, I am also feeling a little overwhelmed with that because I have a lot of different directions I could go in and only so much time. I have 2 different wheels, so I could have 2 different spins going for whatever I feel like doing. So we'll see. I'll have a better idea on that next time. I am also thinking about for my shop, carting up some single fleece fats just to have in the shop for people who don't want to process their own washed fleece. I don't know. I don't know. I think that's it for that I have for today. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm looking around. I don't think there's anything else. Nah. Nah. I hope you guys are doing well. I would love to hear what you're working on. What kind of big projects, small projects, whip downs, stash downs, how things are going. I mean, we're going into March, so we're the first quarter of the year is pretty much, we're getting into it. We're getting through it rather. So how are you doing with your initial thoughts for 2023 on how you wanted the year to go, on what you wanted to accomplish, if you even thought about that, or are you just kind of like, I don't know, I just make stuff when I want to make it, and that's really perfect. So anyway, I'm gonna say goodbye now because I'm just blathering. I hope you all have a good day. And until I see you next time, be safe, be happy, be well. And I'll see you then.